There it is.
Greetings and welcome to Live Your Song, building businesses that make a difference. I'm Cheyenne Kramer, and this is my better half.
Donald Kramer. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
It's interesting times we're in, and we really wanted to take just a moment today, maybe two, to focus a little bit more on why it's so important for people to be discovering and taking action on that heart song of theirs at this point in time. 2020 has undoubtedly been the most difficult year in recent history that anybody can remember anywhere on the planet. And this past week has been no different. It has been quite a challenging week in terms of the US election cycle. And there's still a lot of challenge to it, even though I just saw that they're declaring a winner, and that's all well and fine. But there's a lot of people who believe there's a lot of questions to be answered around that at this point in time. So, as usual, our position is that we don't think it's in the best interest of anybody in this country to put all of their energy into worrying about who the politicians are that are supposed to be guiding us, because there's a lot of questions to be answered in a lot of ways, on a lot of levels when it comes to that. What we are here to focus on is, first of all, we want you to understand a little bit more about his experience of running for governor of North Carolina in 2012. We want you to understand a little bit more about why we created this book a year and a half ago, because it really has a lot to do with his experience and why it's so hard for us to put all of our faith in this political system. We are the ones who were designed by a creator, and we're supposed to be co-creating with that creator. We're supposed to be creating our own better world, creating heaven on earth, creating the world that we know in our hearts is possible. And it's really interesting because I don't care what side of the political fence you sit on, everybody thinks that their side is here to create that heaven on earth. I'm not so sure that's true. Dear, what would you like to tell the folks out here about your experience running for governor?
Well, I ran for governor in North Carolina. The year was 2012. And I have to say, politics back then was really, really shady. I'd have to say, kind of corrupt. It doesn't matter which party you're, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. I ran into so many people that I just couldn't believe what they were thinking. Um, when it came to voting for me as an independent, they were scared. Oh, I vote for you, even though I believe in what you're doing. My my candidate won't win. The other guy will win, which didn't make sense. Why don't you vote for what your heart stands for the better of all people, not just one group?
Mm. And as an independent, you actually won over people on both sides of the
I
fence, didn't you?
really did
You
because
you had to get petitions signed.
yeah, I it's like this. I believe both parties have some good,
Mhm.
and why not? Let's just take the good from this party and the good from this party and bring it together for the people and let the independent people have their say.
For sure.
It would make a lot better place for everyone.
It absolutely
You
would.
can tell from us, We're not registered as Republican or Democrat. We're registered as, we're independent. And that's where we're going to stand. We want the best from a person. But I want you to understand that you can't depend on politicians to save you.
And that's what too many people have been putting all of their energy into. They think they're going to live or die based on who's in office. And, yes, they do have some influence, and yes, they can affect some things in our society. There's no doubt about it. But the Creator designed you and us and everybody out here to be powerful people that can create our own economy. We can create our own health. We can create our own sense of justice. We have that ability. And dear, to me, one of the things that most people have no idea about, and I think it's so important for you to share the story. What happened when that young reporter wanted to make sure that somebody heard about you
Oh,
in the media when you were running?
well, go back to I was actually going to vote early. I was in line where you can still talk about, there's a certain point where they don't want you talking about politics. After you cross that line, you don't talk about politics. Before you can talk to anybody, and I was talking to people, explain to where I stood and what we need to do. And a lot of people were listening. And this is both white, black, Hispanic, different groups. And they were listening to me and agreeing with me. When a reporter heard that, he says, "Oh, I got to do an interview with you." I said, "Okay." So we went over and he had his video guy recorded. And he asked me questions and I explained everything where I stood. And he loved every moment of it. He was all excited. He couldn't wait to get that story back to the studio so they can play it. And he says, "I'll give you a call, let you know when they're going to air it." Well, I got the call from him, but it wasn't the call I expected. He was really apologizing that basically he was told because I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, they could air their story. It didn't fit their agenda, which was pretty sad.
Extremely sad. Extremely sad. And, what I want you to hear about this is I want you to understand that in that case, and in many cases we've seen since then, the media has control over what you get to learn about. They didn't want you learning about this guy as a governor candidate. They wanted you to stay focused on a very divisive system consisting in their minds of only two parties. And even though he had Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Christian Party, he had all kinds of people who were signing his petition to allow him to run for governor because they recognized that we were here to unite. We were here to take the best of both systems and put them together. That's at the heart of living your song. That's at the heart of what we call social entrepreneurship is you build for-profit businesses, free market businesses that also can create social good. We've been doing it for years and we know it can be done. We have turned some kids' life around. We have given hope to folks who were in the prison system. We have given hope and ideas and tools to people who were in homeless shelters. And again, we believe in taking the best of both worlds and putting them together. And yet, we have so allowed the politicians to divide us and to think that it's either this or that.
Well, it's just like this. When I was running, I didn't care who you were, where you came from, your religion. I didn't care if you were black or white or brown, yellow, red. It didn't matter. to me, we're all one race. That's the human race. And everybody matters. Everybody counts. When we were in St. Louis, we ran into a fantastic bakery. It was an all black owned bakery. Fantastic food. I couldn't get enough, to be honest with you. I love sweets, and they had some sweet food there.
Absolutely.
And so,
They did. They did. But the point is, we get to decide. We get to choose.
that's right.
We get to create heaven on earth if we choose that we want it. And I want to help you remember that you were made in the image and likeness of a creator. Stop giving all of the power to create over to politicians.
Yes.
And stop thinking that everything the media tells you is the truth. It may be, it may not be, but I can tell you from personal experience that they have control over what you see. And you can trust in that control if you want to, but I'm telling you, there was a whole lot of people that signed his petitions in 2012 that could not believe that the media would not run a story about this guy, would not let him participate in gubernatorial debates.
No, I was told no.
And oh yeah, if he was going to be on the ballot, because he wasn't, he would have had to have gotten not just 10 times more, but 20 times more signatures than any Republican or Democrat, because he wasn't one of those. So I just want you to hear, the politics is a good piece of what's hurting us right now. Skip it and work on being involved in creating heaven on earth, because we can do it. We see little pockets of it popping up here and here and here. We find people of like mind. We're excited that we've met a wonderful lady here in Central Virginia who has the same visions we do, and we're working with her. She has a home. She's getting ready to house young people who've already come through the justice system. And, they're going to get personal development training. They're going to be taught how to take more control over their lives, how to stay out of the justice system, how to do legal business and make a social impact at the same time. They're going to be taught all of these kinds of things, vocational trades. We need more young people involved in construction trades and things of that nature. Automotive, we have shortages in these arenas. So wherever these kids are at, we can help them to be able to get on a better track. And, we have outlined lots of stories, and maybe you don't think stories are important, but I'm going to tell you, they are. And these are real life stories, working with young people, working with people who have been through the justice system, all of these folks. And we can tell you, we can create better solutions.
Make a correction.
Go ahead.
You say work. I don't consider work with these young people and help teach them how to be responsible adults. Work.
That's true.
It is so fantastic when you have young people, when they're around their peers, how they act. And when I had the luck of taking them out to meet other businesses, how they actually were like night and day, very polite, very, I couldn't believe it. I had to look around and say, where's the kids I came in with? But the thing is, these kids have a lot of ability. They just need someone or other people to show them what it's like. I'll be honest with you, they're not getting it like in schools.
No, they're not.
That's why we are needed. People like us and others, the ones we're working with, they need us big time.
And they need you.
That's right.
We need more people becoming business owners, and we need more business owners who are willing to mentor other people. That's how we build our own economy. And it does not have to hinge on what is going on out there because we have the power to build our own economies. We absolutely do. And, we've outlined in this book how to get it done. We have outlined in this book how to get it done. We started in the book by explaining, the corruption, the control, and the lack of fairness in telling people about all of the options available to them in the political system, in the election system. It was absolute insanity that he ran into over and over and over again. And then on top of that, we've done the analysis. When he ran for governor, the US, and this hasn't changed much since 2012, 8 years ago, this has not changed much. The US spends more money than anybody else on healthcare, but we rank about 40th in terms of the results we get.
Mhm.
And I want you to think about this. Why is it? Why is it that this system that we pump so much money into, why do they poo-poo things like vitamins and
Natural stuff.
minerals
Natural.
and herbs, things that God made? Why?
We're talking about plant-based nutrition.
Anything that God made that can help our bodies, we've been taught that ain't any good. You don't need that. You get all you need from the food you're eating. I'm sorry, that is not the case at this point in time. Our soils have been stripped of anything of value. There's very little value in the food we're eating, regardless of whether it's organic or whatever.
You can do the research yourself.
You can.
It's not hard.
Just understand that we have been taken away from so many things that are God-based in favor of man-made things. And it's killing us as a society. It's killing us. Instead of allowing ourselves to be governed by God's laws, we're being governed by man-made laws that are getting crazier and crazier every day. Instead of relying more on God's solutions for our health and well-being, we're relying on man-made chemicals every day. And we're letting them take us further and further away from our Creator and who we were designed to be.
What we're supposed to be.
Exactly. The school systems, oh my God, they're not allowing our youth to be creative. They're not teaching them how to be a creator with the universe. They're not teaching them much. A few are, but it's still way too few that are teaching entrepreneurial skills that allow our youth to be able to be those creative creators they were designed to be. All of these things out here are forcing us into more division, more chaos, more violence, more unhappiness. Is that really the world we want to continue to live in? Or is it time for more of us to step up and live our song and stop worrying about who's in the White House or the state capitol or whoever's running your county? We have the power to be and do the change we're looking to see. And, we've created a system called Connect, Collaborate, Create. And that's outlined in here, along with the whole concept of finding your song, living your song. And we encourage you to go get this book and just think about it.
Join us.
Join us.
That's what we need. We need more small business owners to step up to help train, teach young people how to run.
And adults.
Yes, adults too.
Adults too.
That's one of the things when I was running for governor I wanted to do was go to business owners, get them. Can you imagine 500,000 small business owners taking on one person to teach them how to run a business? We'll give them a little tax incentive to do so. It wouldn't hurt. Then those 500,000 people could turn around and start their own business What unemployment? There would not be any. We're not supposed to have unemployment. But you know how it's created? I don't have to tell you.
It's called the poverty trap. And I
Definitely.
want you to think about this other fact too. If you wonder why there's so many systems that are taking us away from our core, away from our creator, there's only one thing you need to do. Follow the money trail. Follow the money trail. Because there are people who are getting rich off from keeping us sick. There are people who are getting rich out of keeping us divided and
Yeah.
keeping people caught in the poverty trap.
Definitely.
There are people who are getting rich by keeping us fighting in the court system. There are so many things that are all about the money trail. And yet, we do believe in free market capitalism. We do. It doesn't have to be evil.
No.
Evil people have used the system
Yes.
for ways that are less than desirable. And so they've taught us all to think that capitalism is the problem. No, it's evil people doing capitalism that's the problem.
My background, I have to mention this. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a housing project in Alexandria, Virginia. The place was so bad. They tore it down. That's how bad it was. They replaced it for more.
Mm-hmm.
But I said to myself at a young age, this is not my life. I'm sure there's people I knew, so-called friends back then, are still there doing the same thing.
Yep.
I couldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Thank God. Literally. You were inspired to do more and to be more.
And my family, I'm the first one to ever start a business and run a business successfully. And when it's funny, many years ago, when I passed making $100,000 a year, how many of my relatives, can you loan me some money? And my answer was always the same. No, I'll show you how to make money. Chase them away.
I hear you. But, the bottom line is this. I don't care whether you feel like you just won or you just lost this week in our election cycle. It makes no difference. It makes no difference at all because if you think back to all the people who have been in the White House over the last 10 or 20 years, yeah, you might think about some gains and some, this improved under this one and that improved under another one. But the serious problems in this country of healthcare challenges, of poverty trap, of so many homeless people that there are certain cities that have become overrun with tent camps. Who has been solving those problems? Who? Nobody from either party. It's because there's people who get rich because those problems continue to exist. So you and we have a choice. We have a decision to make. Our choice is, we went and voted, but now we're skipping over the politics and we're focused on creating heaven on earth. We know how to do it. We're problem solvers. You are too. We're looking for more people to join us in this effort. Get the book, wecare-partnerships.com. If you click on the link at the top that says Do the Change, that's where you'll find the book. If you want to talk, if you just need somebody to talk to, and you're curious about some of the things we're doing, just go to wecare-partnerships.com and just put your information in the form on that front page, and we'll be happy to be in touch with you. Because living your song, I personally don't think it's an option anymore. If we are ever to have a peaceful planet with more health, more wealth, and more peace, then we need you to live your song.
And if you have a small business, you may be having a little bit of problems, give me a call. I ran a business very successful for many, many years. and I'll be happy to see if I can help.
There you go.
I just want to help people, young people, middle-aged people, old people, doesn't matter. To me, it's not a job, it's not work, it's just living
There you
my
go.
song.
There you go. So thanks for listening today. This is kind of a heavy one, but I felt like we needed to go here because, you know, things are tough out here right now, and it's not going to be easy for a while still. I think you're going to see a lot of continued fighting, a lot of continued challenges. There's going to be all kinds of court cases. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. So skip the politics. Stop worrying about what they're doing. Get focused on what you can do to be and do the change. And we thank you. We'll see you next time on Live Your Song.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.